This video is for education purpose only. No copyright infringement. This copyright belongs to the rightful owner. The contents are taken from the reference book prescribed by SPPU Pune. In our previous video, in the chapter of thermogravimetry, we studied about the important components of thermobalance. In this video, we are going to see about the kinetics of the reaction. The study of reaction can be divided into three parts. The first part is the stages, intermediate and product of the reaction. Stages, intermediate and product of the reaction. The second part is the energetics. Of reaction. Different stages of the reactions are there and their energetics we can study. And the third part is the reaction mechanism and reaction kinetics. And reaction kinetics. The first two parts, that is stages, intermediate and the product of the reaction and the energetics of the reaction stages, they can be studied easily by TG and DSC. And the third part, that is reaction mechanism and reaction kinetics, may also be investigated by thermal methods. Now consider a typical reaction. The endothermic reaction of the decomposition of the solid, that can be considered as A, which is in the solid form, get decomposed into B, another solid part, and C, some gases they get evolved. So this decomposition of compound A is the endothermic reaction. After loss of some gases, it can get converted into another form. As this reaction proceeds, gas and mass will be lost and the heat is absorbed because it is endothermic reaction. Several equations are used to model the process, but they may not be valid in all situations. The extent of reaction, that is denoted by chi, is the quantity having the dimension amount of the substances, and it is defined as by the equation, that is NB is equal to NB0 plus VB into chi, where NB is that means this amount. NB is the amount of substance B. NB0 is the chosen amount of B, example at T is equal to 0, and this VB is the stoichiometric number of B. This VB, stoichiometric number of B, it is having positive value if B is the product, and it will have the negative value if B is the reactant. For reaction in solution, the progress of reaction is usually followed by the changes in the concentration. That is, in case of solution state, the changes in the concentration of the B, that can be monitored with the time. But for solid state reaction, this is hardly appropriate and it is more usual to follow the changes in the fraction reacted, and that fraction reacted is denoted by alpha. And this fraction reacted, it is studied with respect to time. So the rate of reaction may now be written as in terms of alpha, and the rate of reaction can be given as d alpha by dt. The rate of reaction, even if measured at constant temperature, usually it varies with time and with the value of alpha. It is therefore common to write rate as is equal to d alpha by dt, that is equal to kT into function of alpha. So the rate of reaction, rate of reaction can be written in this way, where this kT is the rate constant at temperature T and F alpha is a mathematical expression in alpha. It would be nice if the same mathematical function, that is F alpha, is applied throughout the reaction, as is quite often happens. But in case of solid state reaction, sometimes there is alteration and some different function, that is F dash alpha, a part way through the reaction due to changes in the mechanism, geometry or chemistry. It is easy to see why this should be so if we consider the thermogravimetric experiment where the different reaction stages overlap. If a reaction is studied simultaneously by thermogravimetry and by a group specific technique such as IR, the value of alpha may not be the same, since the IR active species may not contribute to the greatest mass loss. So your IR active compound may not decompose and it may not show any kind of mass loss. The relations used for the kinetics of the solid state reactions, various scientists, they provide some relations such as Sestak and Berggren. They summarized many of the equations relating the rate of solid state reaction to alpha. They may be written as a combined equation, and the combined equation can be shown like this: d alpha by dt, it is equal to kT into function of alpha into L minus alpha raised to n into minus ln 1 minus alpha raised to n. It is sufficient to quote three examples for general kinetic equations, and we can get the equation as G alpha is equal to KT into T. The interpretation of the kinetic equation considers the way in which the reaction starts by a process of nucleation, then how these nuclei grow, and what reactions or interface geometry is involved, and finally how the reactant decays. So out of these three examples, one of the examples we can consider as how the reaction proceeds. Secondly, the rate constant K, it depends greatly on the temperature, and it is thus sometimes written as Kt. The equation used for many reactions is that of Arrhenius equation, and according to Arrhenius equation, Kt is equal to A exponential minus E by RT, where A is the pre-exponential factor, E is the activation energy given in joules per mole, and R is the molar gas constant having value of 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole. Several thermal analysis papers laminate that different values of E have been found by different workers. This may be due to a change in the reaction mechanism during the reaction, to a true variation in E, or to differences caused by experimental procedure. The validity of the Arrhenius equation is very often assumed, and deviation attributed to the changes in the mechanism. The third process, that is the temperature in a non-isothermal experiment, is ideally controlled, often to fit a linear program rise, and it is shown by the symbol beta. So this linear programmed rise in temperature beta, it is there, and it is in terms of Kelvin per minute. So T is equal to T0 plus beta into T. For large sample masses, highly exothermic or endothermic reaction may cause changes in the real sample temperature. Arbanoisi and Segal suggested the modified equation, and that modified equation is Tt is equal to T0 plus beta into T plus S into bracket T, where this S into bracket T is the difference between sample temperature and the program temperature. A good guide to strategy for studying kinetic is given by Galway, who advise the use of isothermal methods as well as rising temperature method. It may be as well to stress that the scheme recommends using complementary techniques such as hot stage and scaling electron microscopy to confirm the mechanism of reaction. The next point we are going to see is measurement of alpha and d alpha by dt. Measurement of alpha and d alpha by dt. For this purpose, consider a single state decomposition of the compound. The thermogrammetric curve shows single state decomposition, and that can be shown like this. The decomposition starts and again it goes to completion. Here at this point, what is the rate, that is d alpha by dt, that can be determined. So this is the mi, initial mass. This is the final mass, and at this stage, at particular temperature, whatever the loss in the mass is there, that is shown by mt. So the rate at this point, that is dm by dt, change in the mass with respect to time, with respect to temperature, it can be shown by the equation that is dm by dt. So we may calculate alpha at a particular time or temperature from the measured masses mt, mf and mr. So alpha is given by the equation mi minus mt, that is initial mass, minus mass at that particular temperature, divided by mi minus mf, where mf is the mass at the final stage. So on simplifying this equation, we can get the equation as alpha is equal to mi divided by mi minus mf minus mt divided by mi minus mf. So we get this equation for the alpha value. On differentiating this equation, that is alpha is equal to mi divided by mi minus mf minus mt divided by mi minus mf, we have to differentiate this equation, and on differentiation of this equation with respect to temperature, d alpha by dt can be obtained, and the equation is d alpha by dt is equal to minus dm by dt divided by mi minus mf. And we may therefore measure the rate of reaction from the slope of the mass time curve. Since the DTG curve already measures dm by dt, this may be used to find d alpha by dt. If we combine the linear heating equation, then dt by dt is equal to beta, and d alpha by dt is equal to d alpha by dt into dt by dt. Then this equation becomes d alpha by dt into beta. For a differential scanning calorimetric curve, if the total area A represents the total reaction over the whole time or temperature intervals, and the fractional area, that is small a, or fractional area alpha, gives the partial reaction up to time T, then in that case alpha is equal to alpha by A. The ordinate deflection Yt in DSC represents the rate of heat supply in joules per second, so that we might also use it to find the rate, since d alpha by dt is proportional to Yt. So d alpha by dt is proportional to Yt. Differential equations. From equation rate is equal to d alpha by dt, and the Arrhenius equation kt is equal to a exponential minus e by rt. From these two equations, we can have the relation like this: d alpha by dt is equal to a exponential minus e by rt, and it is a multiplied by function of alpha. Combining with equation, that is dt by dt, we know that dt by dt is equal to beta. So combining with this equation and rearranging them, we get the equation as d alpha by dt is equal to a by beta exponential minus e by rt. So you have to rearrange these terms in the equation and take the logarithm. After rearranging and taking the logarithm, we get the equation as ln d alpha by dt minus ln function of alpha is equal to ln a by beta minus e by rt. By plotting the left side of the equation, this is the left side of the equation, against 1 by t, the activation energy can be obtained from the slope and A from the intercept. The another method to measure the alpha and d alpha by dt is the constant rate method. So we can measure this d alpha by dt and alpha by using constant rate method. If we consider that the rate of reaction, that is d alpha by dt, rate of reaction d alpha by dt is controlled by the value of the temperature, then the fraction reacted and the nature of the atmosphere, then control of these parameters could be used to control the rate directly. Rockwell is the name of the scientist who proposed that a quantity directly related to the decomposition rate is kept constant. This quantity may be the evolved gas flow, the thermal flow, or the DTG signal. This is the technique of constant rate thermal analysis, CRTA, constant rate thermal analysis. The quasi-isothermal, quasi-isobaric techniques of the Pauliks controls their system in such a way that it keeps the rate of mass loss constant and to confine the reaction gases so that they were lost at constant atmospheric pressure. So, by using the constant rate method, Reading has described the rate jump technique, where the temperature and pressure are controlled such that at a temperature, certain temperature, the rate of mass loss is constant at d alpha by dt at certain temperature. Say for example, at temperature T1, the rate of mass loss becomes constant at d alpha by dt 1. And when it is rapidly raised to a new temperature, say for example T2, the new rate constant or the new constant rate that will be d alpha by dt at T2 temperature, that is new constant rate will be there. And for a small interval, the alpha, the value of ln function of alpha, it gets changes a little bit during this jump. So from temperature T1 to T2, that jump, there will be a little bit change will be there in the ln f of alpha. This diagram shows a typical result for rise jump constant rate thermal analysis. So when you change suddenly the temperature from T1 to T2, the d alpha by dt, that is the rate of mass loss at constant temperature, that is T1, and d alpha by d2 is the new constant at new temperature T2. Then in this case, the energy, it is given by this equation, E is equal to minus R ln d alpha by dt at temperature 1 divided by d alpha by dt at temperature 2. This term is in the numerator, and in the denominator T2 minus T1 divided by T1 into T2. The remaining part of this thermogrammetry chapter, that is the applications, we will see in our next video. Thank you very much.